right, what's going on? So I'm going to use my man Giorgio Hopkins's acronym with regards to physical health, and that's CMR. And if you were in the military, if you were a logistics officer, uh, the acronym means something. Or if you're a supply officer, that acronym means something, CMR. Um, but for our purposes, it's just consumption, movement, and recovery. So we'll begin with consumption. With regards to our physical bodies, with anything really, like it's garbage in, garbage out, right? And here I talk a little bit about the importance of our bodies. Um, our bodies can be amazing. They're super resilient. We're super adaptable. We have amazing bodies. But, in order to fuel this magnificent machine, we need to put in good stuff. And overall, I would say that if we're wanting to eat healthy, feel, you have to be connected with your body, and you have to feel like what makes you feel energized and what makes you feel good versus what makes you feel lethargic and whatever. So paying attention to yourself is helpful. And another one is just as a general rule of thumb, you want to eat the way our ancestors have evolved to eat, right? Our bodies need the nutrients that were available to us during the hundreds of thousands of years that we were evolving. And so generally eating in that way, it's helpful. But again, everyone's different, and it's important that you really feel into your body and get the feedback that way. I know, like with all the science and people talking, and there's so much information out there, it's hard to know exactly what's best for you. So you just gotta figure it out, and try things and feel it, and just pay attention to it. It's not really that difficult. In general, again, this is generalizing, but most people in modern society are probably consuming too many carbs, especially white, starchy carbs, like bread, pasta, rice, potatoes, and grains. Those are delicious. I know. Or sugars, like refined white sugar or high fructose corn syrup. Leads to a bunch of different health problems. Obviously, we didn't have those in an evolutionary sense. Like, it was through agriculture that they mass produced a lot of these white starchy carbs and these sugars to keep us full, and it's the cheapest thing we can eat. Again, if that's what you can afford, that's one thing. But like most, if you're watching this, it's probably more of a choice than anything, or a habit, or just what you grew up with. Also, the sugar industry kind of pushed this narrative that fats were the problem, to divert attention away from the problem of sugar. And fats are actually something we did evolve to need. Our brains, our ancestors needed fat as a store of energy, because we didn't have carbs as much back in those days before farming. We were hunter-gatherers, which was most of our history. And fats allow our brains to produce more neurons. Our brains are like mostly fat and some other things. And so it's not as unhealthy as most people would think. We also need more protein. That's pretty well understood. More natural foods. So natural meats, natural fruits, natural vegetables, less stuff in the frozen section and in processed. More water, less sugary drinks. The slow carb diet, whatever Tim Ferriss recommends, that's pretty good. Just more natural foods. Let's just go with that. Also, Periodic fasting is helpful, so I don't eat breakfast. I eat dinner and then I eat 2 meals a day. Some people just eat 1 meal a day. Periodic fasting is good because our bodies are used to it. They understand, our bodies understand what that is, uh, and it can actually help to detoxify, reduce inflammation, increase production of antioxidants. I haven't done this yet, but a lot of yogis and whatnot, do the 3 day fast a couple times. Sure, St. Pierre does that as well. I guess it really helps to rebalance the body, so I'm gonna get into that as well. Some limiting beliefs about healthy eating. First of all, that it's expensive. Well, I don't believe that's true. Fruits and vegetables. Maybe if you're in Canada, I've heard, hey, fruits and vegetables are expensive there, but in most places, especially closer to the equator, fruits and vegetables, and here in the Dominican Republic, it's like the cheapest thing you can find. Frozen dinners and processed foods are actually way more expensive because it's more expensive to make it. Also, it depends on and I understand that depending on your financial situation, like maybe it's harder to think long term, but eating healthy boosts your productivity, which means you can make more money, and it reduces health costs, which means you're saving money on medicine and doctor's appointments and things like that. So people won't pay to eat healthier, but they'll pay for medication that's probably caused in part by unhealthy or incomplete diet. So I think it's just short-term thinking. It's just lazy and misinformed. It's just an excuse, really, that it's expensive. Also, people who complain that healthy food is expensive, they've probably got some addictions going on, like cigarettes and alcohol and who knows what else. So yeah, it's unless they're yeah. Anyways, I won't go more in there. Everyone's different, but in general, I would say that that's a limiting belief. That's not true. Also, that it's inconvenient or time consuming. Again, I think that's just an excuse for laziness. People will drink, smoke, watch Netflix, but they won't, you know, eat healthy. Also, you can batch production, you can meal prep, you can eat fresh vegetables and fruits, which takes very little time to prepare. Just peel a banana like that. And, if you're living in a developed country, if you have a crock pot, you just throw stuff in there. And when I'm cooking for myself, I just basically make soup because you just put the ingredients and water and heat it and leave it alone until it's done. So, and it tastes fine. So, yeah, it doesn't need to be difficult or time consuming. The fact that it tastes bland, well, I don't think so either. But there's a lot of spices that you can use. And it's difficult to obtain sufficient calories. I get this part. If you're not eating a lot of carbs, you can feel like it's difficult to obtain sufficient calories. So you want to eat some more beans, nuts, you know, different things that are a bit heavier, protein, meat. And yeah, just eating vegetables and fruits, I can understand being difficult to obtain sufficient calories. But I think in the most part, people think it tastes bland because they're so used to like super sugary drinks, super processed chips with this overwhelming fake cheese flavor. And so our taste buds and our receptors are just fried for overstimulation. And so we forgot what like natural food tastes like. Um, I don't think any of this information is groundbreaking or new. You just have to do it. But again, start small. You don't have to change everything radically. Just remove sugar from your coffee. Drink coffee black, maybe with honey, since that's more natural. Less sugary drinks, more fruits instead of candy. Um, give yourself some cheat days. Don't be too hard on yourself, but just have some intention with this. That's why you're watching this. I believe in you. You got this. See you in the next video. Yo, what's up? I know this might be really difficult to believe, but our bodies were designed to move and not just sit at a desk for 8 hours a day. I understand, like, modern society, whatever, I'm sitting at a computer as well, but our bodies yearn to move. And it's healthy for not only our bodies, it's healthy for our brains, which is a part of our bodies. And it gives us more energy, we become more productive, we have better mental capacity. So, as I've probably mentioned at some point, a lot of times people think of having time scarcity, right? Not having enough time. But really, we all waste a lot of time and we all procrastinate. I can't say we all, but a lot of us, or else we wouldn't be here. And the issue isn't time scarcity, it's energy scarcity. It's not feeling like you have enough energy to exercise after work or whatever. And also, like, maintaining exercise, like, people see you different when you're in good physical shape because there's a lot of character qualities that are related to sustaining physical health, right? You need discipline, you need resilience, you need mental toughness. And these, not they help you personally in your other areas of your life, but also people ascertain those qualities about you. And so, it helps with with your relationships, with your work, with everything. So it's a net benefit all around. So even if you're a nerd who doesn't like jocks, who um, is all about your brain and thinks jocks are stupid and whatnot, really you're the ignorant one for not prioritizing your body, right? Movement is not an option, but how you choose to do that can depend on you. Like I said, um, if you like to learn something new, if you want to be in a community, if you need some accountability, you can pursue different sports. Martial arts is a good one. Dance is a fun one. You get to meet people as well, meet women. You get to stay active. You get to learn all of this stuff. Again, enemy is complicated is the enemy of execution. There's so much information out there, so many magazines and programs and da 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 da. It's like, supplements. It's like, what are you? There's so much stuff. You don't need all that. You're not trying to be a professional. You just need to focus on simplifying and making it actionable for you. So if you're looking to build strength and power, there's some large core compound exercises. There's squats, deadlifts, bench press, shoulder press, some kind of pull-up or row or back exercise. You want some aerobic fitness, so cardiovascular endurance. You can run, you can bike, you can swim. And flexibility, stretching, yoga. CrossFit's a popular one where you can combine like all of like your high intensity interval training. So you're combining strength with aerobic fitness, maybe less flexibility with that. Some people love that. I personally don't like to lift too much heavy things and combine aerobic because you make mistakes and you can get hurt. Plus, I'm focusing more of my effort in martial arts, but whatever floats your boat. And I think that's it. Keep it simple. Find out what works for you. Enough said. All right. Last but not least, R&R, rest and recovery. Life is about rhythm. That's one of the hermetic principles. Some seasons require effort, others require a more laid-back approach. You work hard planting your seeds. You work hard watering them, growing them. harvesting them, and then you wait until the cycle continues. Sometimes it also helps to get out of the weeds of working in your life on the treadmill and taking a step back and taking a larger view of what's going on. All right. And so rest and recovery is super important, not just from your physical activity, but just from your life in general. One of the big things is to prioritize sleep. Tim Ferriss would say it's the currency of the highly productive. We need it, our minds need it, our bodies need it. There's no long-term substitute to getting adequate amounts of sleep. I think Kierkegaard said sleep is the height of genius. My friend Kikito thinks it's the highest form of meditation. I don't know if that's true. Maybe you do connect with spirituality when you sleep. So yeah, you need to prioritize it. What else can I say? Our bodies have a circadian rhythm, so you want to stay as consistent as possible. Understand that life gets in the way sometimes. Maybe you have a 1 or 2 hour buffer, but you want to keep it more or less the same every night. Keep it dark. Keep it cool if you can, 18 to 21 degrees Celsius. If you can't keep it completely dark, do what I do, wear an eye mask. That keeps it dark enough. Follow the 3-2-1 rule, which I got from someone. 3 hours before, you're not eating anymore, so that your body's not in overdrive trying to digest. No water 2 hours before bed. This is if you don't want to keep waking up to go to the bathroom. And 1 hour before bed, no electronics or screen exposure, basically, because these computer screens, phone screens, like really turn our brain on and get us going, and then it becomes hard to shut down. So, take an hour or so before you sleep to just wind down, to maybe read, to think, to play, to chat if you have a partner, be intimate, whatever. Step away from the screen so that your brain can naturally shut down. Tim Ferriss also recommended drinking apple cider vinegar with raw honey and water. I tried it a couple times and didn't seem to make a difference, but maybe it'll work for you. Beyond sleep, recovery in general is important. That's why we have weekends, but that's for the workers. In general, though, you still want to be aware of your pace, and we talk about consistency in the 20-mile march. Recovery is important, and that this could look like different things for different people. Some people love getting massages, acupuncture, cold exposure is good for like muscle recovery. Saunas are very relaxing, sound healing, very relaxing. Being in nature can be very relaxing, going for a hike, swimming in a waterfall, going to the beach, receiving the gifts of the natural world. Being with nature, definitely helpful. Spending time alone. So for me, I need time alone to process everything. What else did I say? Spas, did I already say that? Doesn't need to be expensive. It can just be you sitting outside staring at your trees and hearing the birds, thinking, reflecting on your life. And again, different people need different amounts of this, but it's more, recover, rest and recover it matters. So that is the end of physical optimization. Again, it's not super complicated. The principles for success will continue to apply. So, for me personally, I keep track of how many martial arts sessions I do a week, just to keep me on pace. You can keep track of whatever it is that you want to. Your numbers, they matter. Um, and then yeah, just keep working, keep staying consistent and building the habits and your identity. That's that. Hope you enjoyed this, and I try to keep it short and see if it can be as actionable as possible for you.